hell no. There's no way I'm going to go live in an RV.
I don't know if it's very functional.
I know. I'm like,
no, I want to build a barn dominium out there. I want a place to put my car that I don't drive except for in the summer. I want a place to put my stuff.
Oh, Kody. Classic Kody. So let's break this down, shall we? First up, we've got the scene where Janelle moves into her RV and Kody, being the master of hypocrisy, makes a big show of saying Meri and Robyn would never live in an RV. He says this with such certainty, as if the idea of them slumming it in a mobile home is just beyond comprehension. Fast forward to the next scene where Kody and Robyn show up at Meri's place, and guess what? Kody asks her, in all seriousness, would you ever live in an RV? Excuse me, Kody, but didn't you already admit you know she wouldn't? It's like he's fishing for an answer he already has. How convenient. Now, we all know Meri's stance on RV life. She's had her fill after that nightmare experience living in a mobile home with Janelle, Christine, and Kody early on. She's been there, done that, and never wants to repeat it. But Kody? He pretends like that's some big revelation. Oh, Kody, we all know the truth. And here comes the kicker. Kody's real reason for wanting Meri to stay on the property is all about himself. Shocker, right? Kody Brown's true love is himself, and every decision he makes revolves around that self-obsession. This man has a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like, how does one person accumulate so much? He has more junk than the 4 wives combined. What does he need with multiple cars, let alone a collection of flannel shirts? Maybe that's why he didn't want Janelle to build her casita. He couldn't store all his precious stuff there. Remember how he whined about the space in Janelle's RV, using it as an excuse to avoid visiting her and Savannah. Classic Kody. But wait, wasn't he offering Janelle's RV to Meri at some point? Oh, bravo, Kody. You're offering up something that's not even yours to give, while insisting she live in conditions you wouldn't want for yourself, you know, like an RV that you already declare off-limits for others. Oh, but it's totally fine for Meri to live there, right? Sure, no problem. She's got nothing better to do than be the human storage unit for Kody's endless collection of things. The thing is, Kody's idea of development is just a front. There's no actual work happening on the property, and Meri's not interested in living in an RV. She's made that clear, but Kody? He just keeps pushing his own agenda, as always, trying to pawn off a life that's barely even good enough for his own family. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. So I just watched this YouTube channel called Modern Law, Divorce, and Family Law. And while it's clear these ladies don't exactly spend their weekends binge-watching Sister Wives, they did bring up something that caught my attention. Apparently, if there's proof that the kids were meant to benefit from the TLC money, they could actually be entitled to a chunk of that cash. And here's where it gets interesting. Robyn named the LLC DABSA-RK, which is a clever little mashup of the parents' and kids' initials. Now, if it turns out that the kids were supposed to be beneficiaries of that money, she's got solid evidence backing her claim. Here's where the genius kicks in. If they ever split, Robyn and her kids could walk away with 6/7 of everything that went into the LLC or the assets bought with that money. Kody? Oh, he gets his humble 1/7. That's some next-level strategy right there. With everything she's put into play, there's no way this is just some coincidence. But of course, here's where reality checks in. The idea that the kids are intended beneficiaries of an LLC, not quite. LLCs come with an operating agreement, and unless the kids are actually named as members, the default assumption is that Robyn and Kody are probably 50-50 its members of this LLC. The operating agreement would also outline what happens if one of them dies or becomes disabled, and spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure Kody isn't about to hand over 6/7 of the assets to anyone, let alone Robyn's kids. But hey, it's still fun to imagine. The move to Flagstaff? Absolutely ridiculous. I just finished season 14, and I'm genuinely starting to lose my grip on reality. Don't get me wrong, the Kody Pass property isn't terrible, and sure, I'm glad they bought it with the intention to build there. But seriously, I can't get past the fact that they left Las Vegas, uprooting nearly every single one of the kids' lives, just to rent or buy houses in Flagstaff, wasting tons of money in the process. They're paying for those new temporary homes and the Vegas ones, and on top of that, they're now sinking even more cash into building houses on Kody Pass. Why not just stay in the Vegas homes until the Kody Pass houses were built and then sell? It's like they intentionally sought out a way to waste thousands of dollars on this completely unnecessary move. And as for Kody Pass itself, objectively, it's a disaster. The land is in a flood-prone zone, the soil's contaminated with plague, and there are no utilities already set up. It was a beyond dumb investment compared to the Vegas homes, which at least had a ton of space and beautiful views. But, well, apparently Dayton was going to school in Flagstaff, so everybody had to drop everything and move there. Because heaven forbid Robyn be separated from her kid. Some fans speculate it's because Robyn's oldest son got accepted to college in Flagstaff, so they had to relocate, like yesterday. Robyn's all about having her kids close, even when they're in college, while Kody's always said his kids should get the boot at 18. So yeah, Robyn's kids might just end up as permanent residents, whether they like it or not. It's just so wild. They had the perfect setup in Vegas. Everyone had their own space. It was basically a little neighborhood. But for whatever reason, they gave it all up for something so uncertain. I don't care how unholy Vegas is. This move makes no sense whatsoever. Christine couldn't help but laugh at Kody's dramatic COVID saga. I mean, seriously, the guy went through it twice. Once in December 2020 and again in December 2023. The second time was definitely rough, considering I was on immunosuppressants when I tested positive. But hey, looking back, it's kind of hilarious, right? The timing was terrible, and I felt like I was half dead. Okay, maybe not actually dead, but it sure felt like it. So when Christine started snickering at Kody's antics, I lost it. To be honest, if it were anyone in my family, we'd all be laughing at it too. If Kody can't find a way to laugh at his past dramatic moments, he's pretty much doomed to be a miserable person. The guy just can't let anything go. Let me clarify though, Christine wasn't laughing at the fact that Kody had COVID, but at the way he carried on about it. His antics were the real joke. He acted like he'd been abandoned in a dungeon, vomiting and crying from the agony of it all. From what the wives said, Kody takes the whole man flu thing to the absolute extreme, like beyond theatrical. Christine was totally laughing at the dramatics. He expected Janelle to drop everything and camp outside his house. Yet when Janelle had COVID, it was never mentioned what Kody did for her, probably because it was nothing. He probably just told her it was her fault for not forcing the boys to stay away. Classic Kody. And don't even get me started on the whole death-like experience that didn't even require hospitalization. Robyn went to the hospital too, but surprise, she wasn't admitted. I'd have a little more sympathy if they'd done everything they could to minimize their risk, like, I don't know, getting vaccinated maybe? And how about holding the kid who brought the virus into their house accountable, instead of just expecting everyone else to follow restrictions while he got a free pass? Parasocial relationships are truly wild. I mean, why am I so heartbroken over Gabe and Janelle? And everyone involved, really. But it's not just surface-level sadness. I genuinely cried. We watched this kid grow up, saw him struggle with his dad, and now, here he is facing even more hardtack. Gabe, who's already been forced to carry the weight of wisdom beyond his years, now has to carry this too. I really hope he's surrounded by people who can support him, that he has gentleness in his life. My God, it's a lot for anyone to bear. Because here's the thing, we're human, and most of us have some level of empathy. Take my cousin's daughter, for example. She tragically passed away in a car accident last week. She was only 16. I didn't know her personally, and I'm not close with my cousin either. She's 8 years older than me, so our lives were always at different stages. Plus, we grew up on opposite sides of the country, so we never got to visit much because of distance and financial limitations. But despite all that, the grief hits me so hard, I can barely breathe. I randomly find myself crying, thinking about this young life that was cut short, imagining the future she never got to have, and knowing that my cousin and her husband just lost their only child. My cousin is living my worst nightmare. But here's the thing, the Browns are living their own nightmare too, so why is it okay for me to grieve for my cousin's family, but somehow not okay to feel grief for Garrison's family? Just because I don't know them personally, I didn't know my cousin's daughter either. And honestly, it's no different. We're all human. We all feel. It's not about knowing someone. It's about shared humanity. We grieve together because that's what humans do. Rewatching this scene from Sister Wives, Season 6, Episode 13, really opens your eyes to just how much subtle tension there is between Robyn and the other wives. The moment when they all start talking about noticing when Kody spends more time with one of them is fascinating. Robyn's reaction is priceless. She looks like a deer caught in headlights. You can practically see the panic setting in as she scrambles to justify why Kody's been spending so much time at her house, even though no one has said a word about it yet. It's almost like she knows what's coming. Then, Janelle drops this bomb about being able to tell which wife Kody's been spending time with just by what's on his mind. Robyn's face softens for a second, but you can still see that underlying unease. Clearly, there have been issues. It's all in the way she responds. There's no way to miss it. And then there's the bit where Kody casually lists off the wives: Robyn, Meri, Janelle, and Christine. It's something I've probably missed before, but why does he put Robyn first? I always assumed she'd be listed last, since it's the usual order, but nope. There's no way that's just an innocent mistake. Watching this after all the drama from the past few seasons makes it even more interesting to rewatch, especially after reading all the Reddit posts. In the early seasons, I always thought Meri was the main problem. And while she's certainly got her own issues, don't get me wrong, Robyn is just insufferable. Seriously, does she have extensions in Season 6? It grosses me out how much money is thrown her way. I'm also rewatching the season after Robyn finally got the house she didn't even want in Flagstaff. Then Janelle calls a meeting, and the wives start talking about how things changed when they moved to Vegas. Robyn immediately gets defensive and starts crying because she feels like they're saying everything shifted since she joined. And I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, "Yes, bitch, since you joined." Oh, and speaking of Vegas, there's that one interview when all the wives are sitting on the couch together. A producer asks, "So who has the best house?" Every single wife raises her hand, laughing, and says something like, "Me," or "I do." But Robyn? She points back and forth between her and Kody and says, "We do." It's such a subtle thing, easy to miss, because everyone else was so quick to answer. But Robyn's little subconscious move speaks volumes. She's claiming that Kody lives at her house. And don't get me started on her. Watching this made me remember Janelle's perfect comment in the last one-on-one interview. "I'm so sick of air quotes counselor Robyn." Robyn really did start acting like she was the matriarch of the family the second she stepped in. Like she was the expert on polygamy, Kody's speechwriter, everything. It's honestly exhausting. And the closest she comes to owning up to it is when she whines that the other wives didn't want to hang around them, so they handed him to her. Bitch, please. Everyone was complaining the entire time about Kody spending more time with you. Do you not know that's all on tape? Because it is? Oh, the drama. So Kody and R have been legally married for 10 years this December. Big milestone, right? But let's be real for a second. Anyone else thinks Robyn I'm assuming you mean Robyn, but feel free to correct me, is just biding her time until that sweet 10-year mark hits. December, people. Community property state. Hello, Arizona. And once she hits that magic number, she's got a hefty claim on all that real estate. The question is, will she toss Kody out the second she's legally entitled to her share? It sure seems like she's laying the groundwork for it. I mean, she's been painting him as the villain, whining about how he's unpleasant, picking fights, and basically acting like a nightmare ever since Christine bailed on him. And we all saw it go down on film, so no denying that one. Could she be preparing to dump him, not just emotionally, but with a legal finesse? On top of that, she seems more interested in buying a mansion that screams, "Look at me," than in being a supportive partner. And I'm sure that gingerbread house collection of hers is about to take over the entire house, because apparently the only thing she loves more than a big McMansion is a 3-foot-tall gingerbread house to dwarf her Dickensian Christmas village. Because, yes, the majority of us know who Charles Dickens is, don't worry. Honestly, I can't even feel bad for Kody and Robyn. They both deserve each other at this point. But seriously, does anyone else feel like Robyn's just setting us all up for a Kody, I'm done moment? She looks absolutely miserable every time they're on screen together. And let's not forget the passive-aggressive comments she's made about him on camera. Is this a staged moment for dramatic effect, where they pretend things are bad, but will make it through? Or is she just really fed up with pretending he's anything but the most obnoxious human being to grace reality TV? If she's planning to leave, it could be because she's realized Kody's earning potential is about as impressive as his hairline. Who knows what he brings in with his gun shows, but remember when they started the show? They were barely scraping by. She was working full-time and M and C were working part-time. There were no frills like nannies back then. So when the show eventually ends, because it has to, right? They're no longer even a polygamous family. Robyn might think she can bag herself a richer man, one with actual earning power. Frankly, Robyn's been living large on Kody's time, his money, and whatever else she could squeeze out of the situation. I wouldn't be shocked if she feels like she could trade up to someone wealthier, even with 5 kids in tow. She's had an inflated sense of entitlement for so long, it's hard to believe she wouldn't think she can do better. Oh, Robyn's nursery choice. Let's just say it's a masterclass in basic parenting decisions. Seriously, pink and blue. So original. I mean, it's not like anyone's ever done that before, right? It's such a tired cliche of boy versus girl, and honestly, it just screams extra. Why not pick something neutral, like a soft green or a pale yellow? Babies don't even notice the color of their room. But nope, Robyn had to split the room in half, pink on one side, blue on the other. It's as if she was trying to win some kind of award for most traditional nursery. Except, here's the thing, the kids aren't even using it. From all the reports, she's co-sleeping, so those divided rooms are basically just there for show. What's really funny is how everyone jumped in to help her, but have we ever seen Robyn return the favor? Crickets. It's almost like she was trying to prove to the sister wives, and maybe Kody, that she's a dedicated mom who's contributing to the family, even though we all know those kids won't be spending a second in their perfectly split nursery. But hey, she'll get points for trying to look like the good one. I mean, the whole thing might have been because the room's tiny and she needed to make it look like it had purpose, but come on. My kid's room is split between princesses and cars, and you know what? They don't care. They're a preschooler and a baby. They just sleep. Maybe we've officially hit the point where we're overanalyzing nursery color schemes. Christine's sweet revenge is unfolding, and it's so satisfying to watch. Robyn, with her desperate claims about wanting the big picture and the family, must be kicking herself now because Christine already has all of that, and more, without even trying. After marrying David, Christine has 6 kids of her own, 6 of Janelle's, 8 of David's, and 16 grandkids, as she mentioned in her ET interview. Family holidays at Christine's must be massive and absolutely chaotic in the best way possible. Meanwhile, Robyn and Kody? They're stuck with DBSA, David and Robyn's affair, and let's be honest, their family holidays are probably pretty lonely. I just love how Christine's life is thriving without even needing to lift a finger. She's got light and laughter in abundance, while SADKRAB, as I'll affectionately call them, seem to be stewing in jealousy and bitterness. Everything is working out perfectly for Christine, and it makes me so ridiculously happy to see. And let's not forget that Leo, the one person who seems to get it, actually showed up at Christine's wedding. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn are their own worst enemies when it comes to family. Kody's never going to repair his relationship with his kids if he keeps insisting that Robyn has to be part of everything. Talk about a recipe for failure. TLC, you need to give us a scene next season where Christine and Janelle are chilling on Christine's porch, watching their kids and grandkids running around. I mean, come on, it's practically a sitcom waiting to happen. Christine's always been the positive force in this mess, and it's so good to see it paying off. Kody's attempt to gaslight her into thinking she was a negative influence on the family? Total garbage. The truth is, he lost out on someone genuinely good, and now he's just bitter. All that talk about needing Christine to talk him down, so David doesn't think she left a good man. Yeah, that's just more of his classic gaslighting, trying to make her feel small. Kody's character is the perfect blend of shallow, vindictive, and downright toxic towards women. I was watching a discussion on YouTube with Jenny on Senior Perspective when she mentioned something that really got me thinking. Robyn's daughter, Aurora, is in college majoring in astronomy. Now, considering their fundamentalist Mormon beliefs, like how polygamous men supposedly become gods in the afterlife with their own planets, how does that even remotely make sense? Doesn't studying astronomy, which is all about the science of the cosmos, kind of contradict their religion? The whole point of astronomy, according to its wiki definition, is to explain celestial objects, phenomena, and their origins using mathematics, physics, and chemistry. That's all science, not faith. Honestly, I'm shocked Robyn even let Aurora take these classes, let alone major in astronomy. But then again, when you've got a religion that's apparently flexible enough to justify anything, like, remember the whole rent versus buy debate between Robyn and Kody. I wouldn't be surprised if they just prayed on it and voila, God gave them a new interpretation that made it all okay. Classic move. It's almost laughable how much support Aurora gets compared to the other Brown kids. She and Dayton get room and board while pursuing their degrees, because why not, right? Meanwhile, the other Brown kids who didn't follow the script were out on their own by 18. It's a lovely privilege if you're in the right family, I guess. But hey, they're not religious, so I guess it's no big deal what Aurora majors in. I mean, as for her future career, job, please, we're talking about someone who's going to milk this whole academic thing until she has a PhD, maybe even postdoc courses after that. And all of this fully funded by the Kody Brown family, past and present members, of course. No student loans, no part-time job, and driving around in a gas-guzzling Infiniti SUV, all while living at home with mom and dad forever. Ah, the sweet, sweet life of unearned luxury. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.